Tricia Turner here with another episode of Anything But Average, Achieving Success in Life. I am here with my good friend today, Javier Tello. Hey, Javier.
Good morning, Tricia. Thank you for having me over.
Thank you
Good
for
morning.
doing this. Javier has quite a backstory. He's been in real estate forever. I'm going to have him tell a little bit about himself, but he is with us at eXp Realty now. Why? Because it's the fastest real estate company and fastest growing real estate company in history. Javier, tell everybody a little bit of backstory about when you started in real estate, kind of as you progressed through, and then what your last position was prior to eXp.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. Always good to see you.
You too.
What can I say about myself? I'm. If you know me, Tricia, I'm always wearing Converse, my ripped up jeans. That's
Yes.
me. I don't want to
Do you have
pretend
Converse
to
on
be.
today?
I'm sorry.
Do you have Converse shoes on today?
Always, always, always. But a little bit about myself. I what can I tell you? When I started doing real estate, I don't think I had a cell phone. I
I was trying to remember how long it's been. How long has it been?
I don't want to tell you because I don't want to. People will know my age. But
Just tell me.
I remember I used to have a pager and a roll of coins.
Me too. Did you have a key map?
I tell you, it's been a great ride. When I started, I didn't know. I knew that I was gonna do this because I had that vision. I I just didn't know it was gonna be that hard because this is the misconception that a lot of new real estate agents have, that they think they're just gonna go get their license and they're gonna make money the next day.
I know.
Well, it was the first few years of my career. I almost lost my car, almost got repossessed. Struggling to pay the house because I said, no, this is me. This is what I need to go through this. And it was an eye opening. I
What
had to
company did you start at?
Henry S. Miller, which is no longer
Really?
Henry S. Miller. And then I went to KW for 2 or 3 months, and it wasn't for me. Then I went to Prudential Gary Green for a number of years, and
Which
then
office were you at?
in Katy,
Okay.
right on Kingsland, and then I went to Remax West Premier, which is no longer there,
Yep.
and then I moved to Remax Cinco branch, which I was there for nearly 20 years,
Wow.
and then I went, and then I opened my own,
Yep.
along with a few partners. In January 2018, and then July last year, that's when I made the move to EXP. But it's been a phenomenal ride. I always tell a lot of agents that I talk to that I like to tell them my story is that don't give up. Thing is that most real estate agents say you want to come and conquer the business immediately. You gotta have discipline. And a lot of us who been able to stay afloat and still doing business now after more than 2 decades,
Crazy.
it's crazy. You have to change your life. You have to change how you think. You have to change everything. You have to do you have to be able to do things that are very uncomfortable, things
Mhm.
that you're not used to, and they might call you crazy, whatever. As long as for me, I had that dream that I wanted to be. This is what I wanted to do, and I struggled. But once I was able to pinpoint the problems, and I used to blame the government, used to blame the school system, used to blame my negative relatives. I mean, everybody. But until I found out that I was the problem, that's when my business came exploded. I mean, it's been now for more than 16 years, you know, having a decent life, a life that I never ever imagined. So it's been a great ride. It's been a
So
great
when
ride.
you started out at Henry S. Miller, did you start out as an individual agent or did you go right onto the team?
No, I started as individual agent,
Okay.
and then in 2004, that's when we finally had that team experience. And I tell you, it was a great ride. We rose to the top, being the top 10 on the Houston Business Journal top teams, and it was a phenomenal ride. I learned a lot,
I
but
bet.
I also learned that the typical business team model is wrong. I mean, I know there's a lot of team leaders out there listening, and I hope so, but it's wrong. I mean, I just
Elaborate a little bit.
yeah, I mean, during those years that I was in that team, I learned a lot, but I also learned that agents came, learned the trade, and then they left because they want their name to be heard. They want to be successful on their own.
Yep.
So, you have to adapt. Just like, when Facebook and social media and all that came into place, if we didn't jump into the bandwagon, then you left behind. I know that you and I are friends on Facebook, and I don't care what people think of what I say, post, or do. I do it, and it works. I mean,
Yes.
you know, I have a lot of business to social media, and you have to exploit. Now that everything is changing again, so you have to balance everything and always think one step ahead. Yeah.
So starting out in real estate a long time ago when we had like pagers and key maps and property desk was this big binder at remember when you had to go to show property, you had to pick up the key from that office, go show
Yeah,
property, bring the key back to the office. Wasn't that crazy?
absolutely.
It's
And
like,
I
how did
remember,
you even do that?
and nowadays I have agents that I talk to that they don't even know how to open the darn Supra. They're like, come on, oh, I don't have a Supra. Can somebody open it for me? I said,
Yeah,
oh my goodness, we are so used to technology that we
we
want,
are.
if you want people, a lot of agents want success and they think they can order it Amazon and get it the next day,
Mhm.
and that's not how it works. It's hard work, and you have to create or adopt new habits, disciplines that will dictate your future in this business. In
Oh,
any, not just in real estate, in any in your life,
yeah.
because it's not what happens that determines our future. It is what we do about what happens that
Right.
determines our future. So it's times have changed, and but changing your mind and adapting to new things, that still remains the same.
So looking back, when you first started in real estate, what is one of the things that you wished you could have done differently now being in an or what was some of your biggest challenges in the beginning?
I think the biggest challenge, and I see this still going on nowadays with a lot of, for the last year, I probably met, spoke, or and interview at least 40, 50 agents.
Mhm.
And
All
the
new
common
agents
denominator,
or existing?
yeah, and the common denominator is that it's pretty much what I faced when I was a brand new agent. I have no guidance, although I'm not gonna say anything about different brokerages because every brokerage is good. It's always up to us. But the major challenge that I had at the beginning was the fact that nobody told me what I needed to be doing. I heard, we went to an office meeting and I heard the top producer saying, "Hey, this is my new listing," but this is what I do, but it costs money. I didn't have the money to
No.
invest farming a neighborhood, which to me is the biggest mistake that a real estate agent will make. Just pick a neighborhood and farm it. To me, once I learned, and it was 4 or 5 years into my real estate life, once I learned that it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Mm.
Once I realized that, and then of course, self-development. You gotta get to your mind in a different state, and my business exploded, and it hasn't
So,
stopped.
a lot of people, when they get into real estate, like you said, they have this misconception about what we really do behind the scenes and what a typical workday is for us. So when you were struggling in the very beginning of real estate, what was a typical workday for you compared to what your workday is like now?
Oh my goodness, huge difference. And again, I will mention this, a lot of agents that I met with. I asked them to describe their day always. when I meet with a new agent, I said, I always ask them, describe your day. And my day is very similar to theirs. I used to go to the office because I wanted to have that office environment.
Yep.
And we went spend a couple hours at the office trying to learn some of the listings that I didn't have that somebody else had. I took property time when property time was very
Yep.
popular. And then I was looking for free lunches from a title company, from an open house, and then came back to the office thinking that I was gonna get business from the office. And then I was looking for free happy hours.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And it's what I call the lunch bunch. I
I
was
was
one of them.
going to say that too.
I was I was part of the lunch bunch where I was just trying to get free stuff from builders, whoever, and that was my typical day.
Yep.
It wasn't, and until I realized that I'm wasting my time. Now, and I'm gonna describe my day prior to the pandemic.
Okay.
Monday through Thursday, have a coffee meeting, 8:30, 9 o'clock,
Yep.
midday meeting, lunch meeting, and a mid-afternoon meeting. So average on a weekly basis, I have to meet anywhere from 40 to 50 people, different people. And these
Love
are people that are my clients, my friends, but I'm there in their face, knowing, letting them, not necessarily talking about real estate. It just have to be in the presence of my clients, my friends, so they will remember me. And that's my typical day. And then in the afternoon, you have listing appointments, you have buyers, but I don't have an office. This is my office at home.
Right.
My office is the field. If I go and sit for 3 hours at my office, I'm wasting time, because money, we can always make money.
Oh, yeah.
But time will never get that back. Once the clock hits 11:59 p.m., the day is gone, and there's nothing you can do about it. So my day before and now, 180 degrees. 180
So
degrees.
prior to where you are now, prior to being at EXP, you had your own brokerage. Was that always the plan, was to open up your own brokerage? Where did that come into play?
No, not really. Earlier I said I spoke about teams. While we had this team, I just didn't like the structure of the team where the team leader gets to have their name up front and everything. Only one person took credit of the team's success. And I saw the frustration in a lot of different agents that I know. So when I was still at at the Remax office, I came up with the idea of collaborate, and I recruited great people that I recruited, and we all had the same vision of working together. And I went through hard, I don't know, for over a year, and finally they came up with a team public ID, which in the past we didn't have it. And I'll tell you, you can go to hard. I went and fought hard and try to explain to them what I wanted. They just couldn't understand. Finally, when they approved that having Teams IDs, my former broker, which I love to death, but for some reason she didn't give us the signature that we needed. So we decided to leave the Remax brand. And when we left, the team concept that we had became a brokerage, which that's not what I wanted. I just didn't want to own a brokerage. I didn't want to be, I just wanted to sell home. That's what I love to do. That's my passion. I have joy doing that. And for a little bit over a year owning that brokerage, I just didn't think it was for me, because I spent more time at that office since 8:30 to 3, 4 o'clock, and my business suffered. My business took a toll, and I just couldn't do that. And I don't regret it. I don't regret anything that I've done in my real estate life. You learn, because we learn more from our defeats than from our winnings. So I learned a great lesson. They're doing phenomenal right now. I just needed to come when the EXP opportunity was in front of me. I knew I needed to jump on it. And you and I met a couple times, and finally I said, this is it. And I wasn't able to transition the whole brokerage because it wasn't feasible economically. So I came on my own. It'll be a year almost. I'm going in 11 months.
Wow, I can't
And
believe it's already been 11 months. It goes by so fast.
I know, but my business is just unbelievable. I mean, now I have that team that I had in mind. I have it, and it's growing. It's just phenomenal. It's an amazing ride. Amazing ride. Yeah. You there? I don't know. You think you'll hear me, but um, talking about my team, I don't know. I lost the signal with you here, but it has been a phenomenal ride, and I wish I would have this opportunity with ESP opportunity 20 years ago. But as Jimmy Franklin said, the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. You know, there you
Hey,
are.
we were just gone for a minute. I don't know what happened.
I
We
don't
like
know.
have all these technical difficulties. We like blacked out for a minute. How weird.
It's good. It's technology. That's what it is.
It's
It's the world
crazy.
that we live on. Yeah.
You were like blacking out for a minute there, and then for a second we both were just disappeared. Or at least on my end, it was like totally black.
Yeah. That was me. I
Like
just
you're
kept
frozen right
talking.
now. There you
I just
are.
kept talking, pretending you were there.
It's like I don't know what's going on. I think we got some morph thing going on here. My printer's making all these noises. I'm like, what is happening here in this office? I'm actually at the office right now.
That's
So
good.
when you switched over and you left your brokerage, then now are you running a team, or how are you running your traditional model, or the model that you're running right now?
Yes, I finally was able to. The ESP gave me the tools to have the team that I had in mind for the last 2 years, and yes, I interviewed. I mentioned earlier that I met with a lot of different agents, and I came to the conclusion that having new agents instead of seasoned agents, it was going to be the best way for me to create a team that I wanted, that I had in mind. Most, again, new agents, regardless of the brokerage that you join, they're taught wrong, in my opinion. Some of them, they go and they cold calls or expires. That can bring you success just for a little bit. I think the main key, and I believe that the main key for success, you got to change your mentality. You got to change the way you think, not just in real estate. So having this new team, younger people, my average age in my team is 25. I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel old with my team, but I love that. I love the fact that they're hungry, they're willing to learn, and just most of them, they've been licensed for less than 8 months. All of them have 2, 3 transactions under their belt, and because they do the things that I ask them to do. I don't, not nothing to do with real estate. It's everything to do with them. And I'm having a ball. I like to give something back of what I learned, 20 years ago, and then I'm loving it. This is just it's a hell of a ride. Yeah,
It is. How
yeah.
many do you have on your team now?
I have one in Dallas. I had two in Dallas, but one of them moved back to Houston. So I have 8 agents here in Houston and one in Dallas.
I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
Okay, so prior to the coronavirus, I believe here in Houston that we were on the brink of like this amazing sellers market. So how would you describe our market now? What are you seeing?
It's amazing with capital letters and neon lights. It's just amazing. And I'm going to tell you a story. Several years ago, a developer invited me over for a little round table. A new master plan community in Richmond was about to open. And we were in one of the models, and we were having a conversation, and they asked me, they said, Javier, what do you think? They said, you sell a lot of homes in this area. What do you think the market's going to be in the next 5 years? And I just didn't even think about it. I said, well, the market, you asked me the question, how it's going to be in the next 5 years? My answer was, it's the same as the last 5 years. It's practically the same. It's that doesn't change. The season after fall is winter, and
Right.
that will never change. That will never change for the last 6,000 years, for the next billion years. That's how it's going to be. So the market prior to the COVID-19, it was healthy. It's what you make of it. For me, COVID-19 really, while a lot of agents were retreating and were not doing anything, spending time at home, I told my team, no, this is the time that we need to have our presence. And March, April, and May, we sold over 40 homes in 10 weeks. So, I mean, I know there's teams that sell more than that amount. I don't care what other teams do. I know that my team they were just doing phenomenal, selling, because it's all here. It's all there. So the next after COVID, it'll be exactly like it was, prior to COVID. So I don't know if
So
that's the
are
answer you
you
wanted to hear.
predicting that we'll have a good third and fourth quarter? Because I sure am. What's your thoughts?
Absolutely. I know that we just finished second quarter, which was phenomenal. The third quarter, we already have several listings coming, several buyers. So I know it's going the right way. It's just, I think you have to have that vision. You have to believe on it, and then let the universe put everything in front of you. Don't ask how. We don't ask how we're gonna get there. We just know we're gonna get there. And I know the third quarter will be better than the second quarter. I mean, it's there. I can see the market.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So are you guys doing anything differently because of COVID? What's your thoughts on this whole thing? Are you wearing masks? Are you wearing gloves? What you doing?
Yes, you have to. You have to. I have a family here at home that I have to make sure that when I go out there, when I come back, I won't expose them, because that's they're my life.
Yeah.
So yes, when I go and meet buyers, things have changed. In my, the way I tell my team is that, I usually, if I go and show homes that are occupied, I always ask the listing agent to have the doors open, every single door open, and I wear gloves to open the door. I ask my buyers not to bring their kids. So the 2 or 3, the most on a group, I think that's pretty much what I've been doing. I stay away from them. I go inside the house. I let them roam the house, and at the end, I just text the listing agent and say, "Hey, we just left the house. Make sure they come and so the sellers can come back." So everything have changed. Vacant homes, exactly the same thing. I go first, open it up, and then I let them walk through the house, and just keep that distance. Yeah, we do wear masks. I order some of our masks with our group logo.
Yeah, I did too.
And even if a lot of people say they may not work, but you have to take those precautions. And I always tell my team in our meetings. We had a meeting last night, and I said, "Hey, it's one thing that's gonna happen in your life for sure, and you don't worry about it, and that's death. You're gonna die. We don't know when, and we don't wake up every day thinking today is the day. No, we just gonna go out and take the necessary precautions to make sure that you come back without bringing anything back home." And I come home, and my wife's like, "You need to get rid of those clothes, let's wash it, take a shower, and then don't talk to anybody." Yeah, that's pretty much how it changed. And I'm, and this is one of those winters. Winters are either mild and short, or they're long and crude. And we're, this pandemic is pretty much like a winter. You're just gonna have to be prepared and work. So when spring comes again, in real estate life, not in real life, then we just go back in the end and try to plant our seeds again.
Love it. So for anyone out there that's listening, what is something that you could tell them to help them grow their business, whether they're new agents or seasoned agents? What would you tell them? One piece of advice.
Self-development. 2 words. Self-development. One of the things, the main problem that I see is that every single agent that I met with, I usually ask them to write down what is it that is preventing them from succeeding. And they come up with most of them come up with a lot of different ideas and excuses. That's how I call it. And every single one of them failed to recognize that the problem is themselves.
Yeah.
And to me, having that grow mentally, because if and I don't mean to offend anybody when I say this. You have a lot of people that they don't think the right way. They think that they're gonna go and make cold calls. They're gonna go make and do open houses. They're gonna do all these things that they've been told to do.
Mhm.
But if they don't have the right mentality, then they're gonna go to Tony Robbins or Tom Ferry. You name all these motivational coaches. They're gonna go for a week and they're gonna come out so motivated and ready to conquer the world. But if they're idiots, if they don't have the right mentality, you just have a motivated idiot. In 3 to 4 days later, go back and do the same. So before you take those motivational classes, before you go to a motivational speaker or anything, you need to change your mindset. And it's not easy because we were raised. I always say I love my parents to death, but they screwed me over. The way they raised me with love, they screw me over. They raised me with fear. Be careful of this, be careful of that, don't do this. And I didn't want that for my kids. I
Yeah.
didn't want that for my kids. Now, we are in our subconscious mind dictates a lot of the actions that we do.
Mhm.
And we have to learn how to switch that. And once you switch that, then you'll see success. So personal development.
I love the phrase you just used, motivated idiots.
Absolutely. You know
I
how
knew
many
it.
times I talk, how many times I talk to people who said, "Oh, I just came back from Tony Robbins and it's phenomenal," and I can see the energy, which is awesome.
Oh
It's awesome. But then a week later, they're in the same boat. Now, yesterday I told my team, we talk about business, but then
yeah.
I always talk about what they need to know,
Yeah.
basic changing your mindset.
Yep.
And I told them, you want to conquer the island? What do you do? Do you want to conquer the island? And I'm not gonna say that word because we're live here, but I said, burn the freaking boat.
Mhm.
You know,
Yep.
most agents they drive on the path. They keep the boat there as a safety net too. If I don't do it, I'll go back. And that's the problem. A lot of them say, I'm gonna give it a try for a year and give it a try for a few months. With that mentality, they're not gonna succeed. So personal development, I go back and say, that's gonna be the key. Not only on risk, but in life, pretty much.
That's right. You're
Yeah.
so awesome. I always love spending time with you. We have such good conversations. I know we had technical problems some today, but I
Okay.
love spending time with you. Hey, tell everybody, Javier, how they can reach you. Javier's here in Houston with me, and he is an amazing mentor, coach, real estate broker agent. He's an awesome dude. So tell everybody how they can reach you, Javier.
Well, my email, very simple, is jteo, Tello, at theteyogroup.com, or my number, 832-549-1701. I'll be the easiest probably.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here today, Javier.
Thank you, Tricia. Appreciate it. And we'll see you soon.
Definitely. Have a great day, y'all. Bye.
You too. Bye. Bye.